Lesson 2. The Functions of Language. Introduction. Do you know the answer to the question, why do we use language? To communicate our ideas is the usual answer to the question, and this must surely be the most widely recognized function of language. This use of language is called referential. But it is wrong to think of it as only that we use language. As we will see, there are several other ways that we use language. Let's take a look at some examples. Section 1. John carefully leans his bicycle against a wall, but it falls over. He tries again, and it falls a second time. John might say, "Darn," in frustration. What kind of language do you think this is? It cannot be communication of ideas, for John is alone. This use of language has an expressive function and shows emotion or gets rid of stress. Some words like darn or shoot are often used when we are angry or frustrated. But there are also many positive words such as amazing or wow. In addition, we find expressions of worry or surprise such as uh-oh or oh no. Words like and ouch express disgust or pain. Words used in this way are called interjections. Section 2. You could see the following interaction. In this exchange, language helps maintain a comfortable relationship between people. Phrases such as good morning and exchanges about health or the weather often do not really communicate ideas. Interaction of this kind is automatic. We often state the obvious, for example, lovely day, or say things which have no content at all, for example, hello. We sometimes even ask questions that don't require meaningful answers, such as, how's it going? These expressions show us the social function of language, sometimes called emphatic function. Not saying these things when they are expected could be a sign of distance, displeasure, or even danger. But cultures vary greatly in the topics which they permit for emphatic function. Not everyone, for example, uses weather as a small talk conversation filler. Section 3. What do you think of the following use of language? Lisa is alone at her desk as she puts together different pieces of her computer. She says to herself, so if I put the red wire here and connect it to the blue wire there, then the green wire must go here, right? Lisa doesn't say this to let others know what she is thinking about. People often speak their thoughts aloud when they are thinking hard. If asked why, they say that it helps their concentration. One common way we use language like this is when adding or subtracting in our head. Very often, this mental act is accompanied by spoken language, but not always. Sometimes people move their lips while they are thinking, but no sound comes out. In these cases, language use is almost completely internal. Section 4. Despite the fact that we sometimes talk to ourselves, Language use more usually deals with our relationships with the people around us. For example, the crowds attending a baseball game shout together, "Home run! Home run!" Such language doesn't contain new information, but it helps the fans feel united and creates a sense of shared identity. In addition, our use of language can tell our listeners a lot about ourselves, where we come from, our occupation, age, sex, and personality. And language can also express our personal identity, who we are and where we belong. Someone from Texas might say howdy instead of hello. These uses of language often work together with other uses of language, so much so that it is often a problem distinguishing the different functions from each other. At a party, for example, someone may make a speech to welcome a special guest. We could say that the purpose of the speech is both to give information about the guest and also to welcome that person into the group. In fact, we often mix together many different uses of language without even thinking. These examples show us that if we know where to look, we can find many hidden features of everyday language. Language is not only a way to communicate ideas, but it also gives us ways to express ourselves and get along with others. It seems that we depend on language more than most people realize.